This is Professor Grant Thrall. Continuing into our third video where we are calculating the average sales price and sale price trend of single-family dwellings by zip code, we have our spreadsheet that I've created from GIS data exported from my GIS software program in my pivot table. Click pivot table. And I want in the body my work here that square foot. We could leave it as count and thereby get a sense of what the number of transactions have been by area. That's important. Instead, what I'm going to do is calculate the average, dollars per square foot, and I want this broken down by year, and I also want this broken down by zip code. So here we have the year, for example, on the left. We have the zip codes, and we have the average dollars per square foot. I'm going to format this. I'm not interested in the decimal point. That's one way to show it. Another way to show it is I will create a subset of zip codes that I'm interested in, and also a subset of years. So let's say I'm interested only in the last decade, full years. So there I've reduced my number of years, and I will have, so here's my years, and here's my dollars per square foot. Let's say that we also, I'm going to remove 5-zip, and then I'm going to put 5-zip into my columns, and I will clear them. I want only, let's say, several zip codes, core of the Gainesville metropolitan area. So I'll have 32601, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So now I have years, and I have the zip codes. I've got my zip codes here, and now I will add in my 5-zip. The zip codes that I'm interested in, now they're categorized by year, and I will then bring in my square footage. And I'm going to group my square footage beginning at 500 square feet and going up to 5,000 square feet in increments of 500 square feet. So now what we have is increments by square foot, the zip codes, 32601, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And now we could visualize, for example, compare houses by zip code, by size range, by year. I'm going to now make a pivot chart, and just by clicking on the automatic formatter, what we see, and also the pivot chart of our data that we've filtered and selected. There's a lot going on though. We've got zip codes in each one of these rows, and then we have multiple square footages by year. And what's interesting is that they do tend to, each of our neighborhoods do tend to remain in somewhat an ordered position and grow relative to one another. But we really have too much going on here. So let's cut it down a bit. Say I'm interested only in houses that are 2,000 to 2,500 to 3,000 to 3,500 to 4,000. So right there we cut down our number of square footages we're interested in. And in terms of the zip codes, let's cut them down further. Say I'm interested only in the suburban areas of 32605 and 32608 for houses in that price range. So now what it's easier to see is that we have 32605 by square footage, and then by year, and then 32608 in the background. And let's even further reduce this square footage. Let's say we're only interested in houses that are, let's first of all pick a big house, 4,000 to 4,500 square foot. So what this indicates is that early in 2000, houses that were larger commanded a premium per square foot. And then around 2002, this begins to change. And then 32608, very significantly, a price premium, but with a bit of a dip here in the more recent time periods in square footage prices. Let's instead now get a sense of the market for houses between 2,000 and 2,500 square feet. Somewhat of the same picture, where 32605 has slightly lagged behind the premium that one pays for 32608, and very different in the last several years, 2008 and 2009. And this is 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. And again, we see the premium for the newer suburbs, largely west of Interstate 75, versus the suburbs which were built in the 1970s and 80s, which would be east of I-75. And this is for the size range 3,000 to 3,500. With the pivot table, we can get a very nice perspective as to what's going on in comparison of submarkets. Here are our two zip codes that I've decided to look at. This is that I'm pointing at now is zip code 32605. And this large zip code, which in my opinion should be split along the axis of the freeway, I-75, is 32608. And one of the values of showing the zip code boundaries along with the property locations is we get a sense of where we are actually measuring. So here we have this zip code 32605, and there is a large dispersion of housed in that zip code, and here we have large 32608, and there's a significant difference in the types of housing around the campus area, which would be up in here, the University of Florida campus. And also this is one of the city's premium neighborhoods where I'm pointing at right now. But this is 32608.